Charles Robinson, most quarterbacks, after they call their head coach everything but a child of God in full view of the world, most quarterbacks may say something along the lines of, hey, that happens, competitive, that's between me and Matt. Okay, that's private. Yeah. My man said just about every play call. So my question to you, Charles, is that just Aaron being Aaron and heat of the moment, or is that representative of he and Matt's relationship and a larger issue in Green Bay?
He has told us, I don't understand why we don't just accept it for what it is, because he said it in every way except for how he just said it there. He wants to run the offense. He doesn't want to run the motion offense that Matt LaFleur wants to run. He wants to run something tempo. He wants to run something West Coast. And he said right there, 2 minute. We were X yards away, 2-minute offense. I call that offense. And I'm going to call a tempo offense that's not going to have motion. And when that happened, when he flipped out, I looked at it and I backed it up and I started to watch kind of what the play calls were. It was, when you watched it, it was because the last play in that drive, right before he flipped out, I think he had to wait to let someone get set. And I think that's what set him off, is he was like, nobody should be moving. We should just move up, get to the line. I call it. Nobody's shuffling around. I'm picking where the ball's going. Let me run this offense. That's it. He's saying it over and over and over again. He thinks he is a better OC than Matt LaFleur right now. That's it. Period. That's all he has not said. That is the one sentence he has not said. I am the best OC on this team. That's it.
Well, but you're right, though, Charles. It's easy for us to deduce that or infer that because we know he thinks he's the smartest person in the room, regardless of the subject.
Well,
why would he not think he's a better person? But why would he not be better? Why would he not think that? Of course he thinks that.
Okay. And listen, I will say this, too, by the way. Jeff Saturday started a week, on Tuesday. He didn't know who his offensive play caller was. He didn't know who his quarterback was. But apparently he clearly told Irsay, hey, you know what? Guess who the guy is who probably knows our offense best and should be the quarterback and should probably be calling most of the offense? It's Matt Ryan. That's how they won that game. So, I said this and I wrote this weeks ago. Aaron Rodgers wants to run the offense. Just give it to him and see what happens. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then you can tell him to shut up. That's it.
Yeah. Well, Nathaniel Hackett's been exposed. Coming from Aaron, countless coaches have been exposed because he's been running the offense. Pretty soon he's gonna be Bill Russell, Michael, and he's gonna be a player coach. Because now Jeff Saturday actually coming from being a broadcaster and now he the head coach. Aaron's like, shit, I could do that.
Hey, listen, but you mentioned it. Hey, Charles, you already mentioned it. We talked about Saturday earlier. I was watching. You can never tell from a post-game locker room scene. I know I'd be in there and be like, this dude just got here yesterday. What's he talking about? I'm so proud of you, man. I don't even know you, man. What's your name again? Jeff what? Jeff Saturday?
Yeah.
All right. But how do you think he is connecting with those players? And is it over for the Colts? I mean, they are 4-5-1 in a kind of wide open AFC. What do you see there?
I'm telling you, the Matt Ryan thing is significant to me because Matt Ryan was benched by Jim Irsay, and I don't think there's anybody in that locker room who realistically believed they had the best. And this is
that's a froze. That's a freeze. That's a Zoom era. Yeah. That's early days right there. That's early days of Zoom.
Once Reich went out the door.
Now we're back.
Yeah, my bad. So look,
no, it's not your bad. You're not in charge. You're not in charge of your own internet.
You ain't in charge of Wi-Fi.
I mean, technically, I am. Listen, once Reich went out the door, once Marcus Brady wasn't on staff, it was Matt Ryan knew that offense best. Everybody in that locker room knew that, and so to me, the fact that he made that decision it was a coach CEO moment. Okay, not a hey, I've been here since camp. Not a I'm in the trenches with you guys and I know this offense better than you. It was, I'm going to be the CEO and I'm going to delegate to who I think has the knowledge and put that person in position on the field. So from the standpoint of one decision, and that's it, just one decision, I will say I think he made the right one decision there. And I guarantee you, at least the players winning that game felt good, okay? It felt good. I mean, the staff could still be pissed because they all got passed over for Jeff Saturday, but for the players themselves, they're all out there to win games, and that had to at least make them feel good to be able to walk out of that one.
Conversely, everything about the Raiders is bad. Talk about feeling bad. We referenced it earlier in the show. Maybe everybody heard it, but it's worth hearing again if you have. Here's Derek Carr and Devontae Adams on the state of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I love Josh. I love the Carr. I love our coaches. They've had nothing but success, way more success than I've ever had, and I'm sorry.
Derek, sorry, continue.
To finish that, sorry for being emotional. I'm just pissed off about some of the things, that a lot of us try and do just to practice. What we put our bodies through just to sleep at night. And for that to be the result of all that effort pisses me off. Pisses a lot of guys off. It's hard knowing what some guys are doing. Like I said, just to practice what they're putting in their body just to sleep at night. Like just so we can be there for each other. And I wish everybody in that room felt the same way about this place. And as a leader, that pisses me off, if I'm being honest.
Just got to stay the course, man. It's easier said than done, but you just got to stay the course. You got to have everybody on the same wavelength. Everybody's got to go out there and put everything into it, throughout the week. And then Sunday's supposed to be fun, and that's the least fun day of the week right now. So that's a problem. We got to fix that. You guys got to play for one another, play a full game, and that's 60 minutes from start to finish, coming out starting fast and then closing out games, making plays when taking on that burden, wanting to be the guy that or wanting to be on offense when it's time, or wanting the ball, or wanting to shut it down when you're on defense, just wanting to be the guy that make the play. And I just don't got enough guys that are fully bought into that right now. And I think people like the idea, but when it's time to actually execute, it don't turn out that way.
Charles, what's wrong with the Raiders, or better yet, what's the solution to their problems?
I mean, that's two team leaders right there saying that their guys not buying into the program, right? Not doing. When you talk about having to prepare all week and then having to execute and buy in on Sunday, you're talking about the locker room. And I know everyone's focused on McDaniels right now, and rightfully so. This is a terrible, awful start, especially when you lose to Jeff Saturday and the Colts, even though, it's not a 1-for-1 with coaches. But
I thought it was bad last week when they lost to Jacksonville. Yeah,
I mean, this is layers here, okay? I think there was a misassessment on Josh McDaniels' part, probably Dave Ziegler's part when they went in, that there was more work to be done here, and it was more of a micro rebuild than they thought. The offensive line, there's two holdovers from last season, and the line's not playing well. Renfro, Darren Waller, you've gotten basically nothing from them this season, which has deeply impacted the offense. The defense is playing horribly. They dumbed it down in terms of what the schemes they ran on Sunday were extremely simple schemes and still got beat. You're not getting anything out of Chandler Jones. But to me, just to hear two team leaders stand up there and say, and remember, they had to have like a players meeting, to say they feel like there's guys not buying in and playing the 60 minutes they need to play on Sunday. That's indicative of this not just being a coaching problem. There's a player problem,
it's a cultural problem. It's a cultural problem as well.
Perfect word.
I think the bottom line is we got to stop saying the Raiders just lost a game they shouldn't lose. No, they're just not that good. Hey, we got a couple minutes left before we got to let you go.
That's right.
I want to sneak in a 2-for-1 on two quarterbacks who there were a lot of questions about, and right now look like superstars. So I'm intentionally being hyperbolic when I ask these two questions, because that's how much fun it is to watch these two kids play. Is Tua Tagovailoa's Miami Dolphins offense the best offense in football right now? Mike McDaniel when he has Tua Tagovailoa. And is Justin Fields the best running quarterback we've ever seen? Because he's putting up numbers we've never seen. Apologies to Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick. But really, those two guys, just break down their leap forward this season.
Well, Miami's undefeated when Tua's starting, right? That's pretty amazing. It's to be undefeated when Tua's your starting quarterback this season is a stat that I think a lot of people are missing. I will say Chris Greer, the general manager there, probably did as good a job as anybody I can remember in any offseason at looking at his quarterback and saying, let me go get the assets that to pair with him. And then not only that, you brought in a head coach in Mike McDaniel, and this should not be downplayed because Brian Flores did not believe in Tua. Okay, did not. Thought he was a soft player. Okay, straight. I'll just say it. I don't care. I'm out there.
Tua needs that affirmation. Yeah.
And Mike McDaniel connects. He connects with them, and he believes in him more than the owner and more than the past coach did. Right. I think that's a big deal. Their offense is exquisite. I think it's fantastic. I think Mike McDaniel straight up as a coach of the year candidate. It blows my mind how well he's done out of the box. Justin Fields, I can't even explain it. I really can't. A month ago, it's like a month ago, I thought they're destroying it. They're ruining him. He might not even be on this team next year. Now he looks like Michael Vick. Like, I don't even know. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
Cam Newton meets Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's running over people and past them. It's just, man,
you don't want to tackle him. Like, he's bigger.
He has a gear.
He might be the best because he's bigger than those other guys.
Michael Holley, but Michael Holley. Okay, but look at when he ran that long touchdown run, right? I think it was Kirby Joseph. If you go back and you watch, he is so fast. His gear is so different than any other player on the field in that moment. And he makes a directional change, really small. But to him, it looked like it was the easiest second to sixth gear shift. Like nothing. I watched it and I backed it up and watched it again. And I'm like, that is crazy. And it literally looked like everybody was in slow motion. He was just like, everything is slow around me. It's like like watching The Matrix. When Neo figures out the Matrix, that's what it felt like when you watched it.
This one, no question. No, man, the dude.
Let me ask you real quick.
Michael, you watched him at Ohio State. I didn't know he had this at Ohio State.
I didn't either.
Maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he didn't do it as much. I don't know. But this dude is next level. Yeah.
He didn't have to have this at Ohio State.
On the
he didn't have to. I think he has to have this now. This is something that he's developed. Real quick, Charles, who wins the AFC East? Who's your winner? Call it right now. Winner of the AFC East.
I still think it's Buffalo.
Okay.
I think Buffalo win it out. I think they'll win it.
Okay.
0-2 in the division.
Appreciate you, bro.
Trailing Miami. Would have lost to Miami.
I think they'll pick it up. A lot of football to be played.
Okay.
Hey, Michael, you should see Charles's. Michael, by the way, you should see Charles's fantasy roster. He has a juggernaut. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet.
Thank you for Christian Watson.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.